Katie Wu, Katie Saves Thanksgiving by Fran Manushkin, illustrated by Tammy Lynn. Let's look at the glossary. Glossary, it gives us a definition of some of the words that you will see in this story. Groaned, made a long, low sound to show unhappiness. Groan, like not happy with the situation. Mayflower, the ship the Pilgrims took when they came to America from England in 1620. Pilgrims, the group of people who left England, came to America and formed Plymouth Colony in 1620. Sweet potatoes, thick, sweet orange vegetables that grow as roots on a viney plant. And Thanksgiving Day, it's an American holiday on the 4th of Thursday in November, and it remembers the Pilgrims' first harvest feast held in 1621. And people give thanks and have a feast on this day. Katie knows Pilgrims. It was Thanksgiving Day. Snow was falling. Lots and lots of snow. I can't wait for Jojo and Pedro to come over, said Katie. This will be our first Thanksgiving together. So she's excited that her friends are coming over for Thanksgiving feast. Let's go. Just a second. I know a lot about pilgrims, Katie told her dad. Tell me about them, he said. It took a long time for the Pilgrims to cross the sea, said Katie, and their ship, the Mayflower, went through scary storms. Jojo and her family are driving through a snowstorm, said Katie. I hope they don't get lost. Chapter 2, Thanksgiving Trouble. Oh no, said Katie's mom. The stove isn't working. Katie's dad tried to fix it, but he couldn't. The Pilgrims had to eat cold food on the Mayflower, said Katie. Their ship was made of wood. It could burn if they lit a fire. Maybe Pedro's family can bring some hot food, said Katie's mom. She called them, but nobody was home. They must be on their way here, said Katie. I'll call Jojo, Katie said. Jojo answered right away. Guess what? Said Jojo. Our car is stuck in the snow. We're waiting for a tow truck. This is some Thanksgiving, said Katie's dad when he heard the news. So far, what's happening in the story? Katie's stove is broken. Jojo said that their car is stuck in the snow. So what's going to happen? Without the stove, we cannot have sweet potatoes, said Katie's mom. Or pumpkin pie, her dad groaned. Groaned. It's a low sound to show unhappiness. Thankful for friends, Chapter 3. The snow is piling up, said Katie's dad. I better go shovel it. I'll help you, said Katie. Katie and her dad began to shovel. Mrs. West lives alone, said Katie. I'll shovel her sidewalk for her. That's very nice. After a while, Mrs. West called out, Katie, Thank you for your help. Come inside. I made some hot cocoa. Mrs. West's kitchen was filled with wonderful smells. I made Thanksgiving dinner for my family, she said. Just then her phone rang. As Mrs. West listened, her face grew sadder and sadder. What do you think happened? Why is Mrs. West sad? Well, she said that she made dinner for her family. Do you think her family can still come over? Let's see what the problem is. She told Katie, my family was going to take an airplane here, but it's a bad day for flying. I guess I will be eating all alone. Katie looked out the window. She saw Jojo and Pedro. Katie said, Mrs. West, why don't you come over and eat with us? What a wonderful idea, said Mrs. West. Said Katie, could you bring your turkey and sweet potatoes? Our stove isn't working. I would love to, said Mrs. West. Katie and Jojo and Pedro helped Mrs. West carry the food to Katie's house. This is like the first Thanksgiving, said Katie. The Pilgrims and the Indians share their food too. But they didn't have my pumpkin pie, said Mrs. West. But we do, said Katie. Everyone was very thankful. The end. This is a picture of the author. Fran Manushkin is the author of many picture books. And this is the illustrator, Tammy Lyon.